going to have a crack. He is, you know. Oh, I say! Brilliant! That is schoolboy's own stuff. Oh, I bet even he can't believe it.
Good morning and good morning to you. Welcome to this Good Morning Tottenham Away Friday episode, guys. Just over 24 hours, just over 24 hours before we face Bournemouth away. It's an early kickoff, guys, so don't forget to set your alarms, depending wherever you are in the world watching it. Some of you, it'll be an extremely early start wherever you are. It certainly is a morning start here in the UK, so make sure to lock it in for the match. We will be doing a watch along for that, so make sure you lock it in with Tottenham away. Watch the match with us in the morning. But let's move on to the not the transfer market. There's no point talking about Edmonton in the transfer market because nothing's happening there at the moment. It's gonna, you know what? It's gonna be one of them ones, isn't it? Where it goes down to the wire. Everything that I really hate about it, when it all goes down to sort of the last 24 hours to 48 hours, if anything happening inbound, which I'm starting to think more and more that it's not going to happen. And more importantly, going out, who's actually leaving Spurs. But you know what? We're going to put that to one side because the priority has to go to the match. And I wanted to, talk a little bit more about tomorrow. So the teams, it looks like it's going to be it's going to be as close as possible to the team that started against Man United, is what I'm thinking. There's only two doubts in my mind anyway. One of them being Celso for Maddison. Maddison, it's looking more and more that it's going to be not taking the risk with him. It's a 50-50 whether he starts tomorrow or not. And even if he were to start, just what kind of condition are we going to find him? Are we risking aggravating the injury? Is this game come too soon? Those are the doubts. And for me, whilst there's a doubt on Maddison starting, or perhaps at best have him on a bench, an opportunity does arise for Celso, which I'll get onto in a second. The other doubt, I think, not a doubt, but more like that, this would be a more technical choice, whether at right back we go a little bit more reserved and play Emerson, or do we stick with the more attacking minded Porro? In my mind, how I will do it, in my mind, and I'm no manager, guys, but I would stick with Porro. I think you want to try having as much of last week's game against United as possible in this one. Now, and it's not to any demerit to Emerson or any other subs that came on that day. I just think that if everyone's fit and good to go, we should stick however many possible. If we can play 10, we play 10 of the 11. If Maddison is fit and good to go, then he should start as well. But I was saying, regarding Madders, Lo Celso, this could be, obviously there's been talks about Lo Celso not being happy, or Ange's broken promise, or whatever, all the articles and what you've been reading on social media and online, to be honest with you, how, and I kind of, I don't know how much truth there is to it, but one thing is certain, these are facts, that Lo Celso had a really big part of our pre-season matches and is not featured in any of the two matches against Brentford and Man United. So I asked the question, why was he not featured in any of either of the games? But given the fact that he was so involved in the pre-season, did something happen in the background? Was there words between the manager and player? Was there something that perhaps transfer where we used him to get him out on put him up on a window to then hopefully some teams in Europe would come in for him? What happened there? Because personally, if that's the Lo Celso we're going to get, I would rather have him involved. I'd rather have him, we don't have another number 10 other than Maddison. Yes, and Ndombele is in the squad, but he's not really featured in any of the preseason or any of the matches. So I kind of understood his position. But Lo Celso, I didn't quite catch that. And I thought, if this is, and I've not been the biggest Lo Celso fan in the past, but I have to say that this summer and in the games that I've seen him, especially with Ange's way of playing football, it suits him really well. So I thought something maybe was brewing there. So to then see him not featured has surprised me. So, but with Maddison's situation, whether it's not 100% sure whether he will start, and he's really the only injury doubt that we have that from the 11 that started last week, this is a perfect opportunity for Lo Celso to be on his toes, to play the match and to do really well, which is something I believe that that will be the case. I believe Lo Celso it will be an absolute an ace in the hole, if you like. And I think we should absolutely use that. And hopefully, if he responds on the pitch, which technically I don't have an issue, I think he's more than good enough. Tactically, he's very good as well. So for me, it's just the attitude. The attitude. If Lo Celso brings it the way he has in during the pre-season matches, I see no problem with it. And for me, it would be an added value to have to play instead of Maddison or with Maddison, with the likes of Bissouma and Sarr playing or being involved in that midfield as well. So I see it as an absolute plus. And the other, like I said, I see the rest of the team. I see Van der Ven, Romero, Udogie starting at the back. Bissouma and Sarr, for me, have to start on the back of last week's performance and performances from Bissouma. And obviously the Maddison, Lo Celso we just spoken about. Up front, I see Son and Kulu starting again there. And Richarlison I believe, will get the nod. He's got to respond. And for me, goals are always the striker's main concern, getting the goals, but also the performance itself. If you can see signs of good performance and playing, Lincoln making the runs, and he gets those opportunities, and if he takes them, all the better. But if he doesn't, as long as you come away with the feeling that Richarlison is involved now, there's an improvement. You can see the improvement tomorrow from perhaps the Brentford and Man United game, where he was pretty much non-existent. And the thing that hits me the most with Richarlison, a lot of the game just passes him by, and that's really bad trait for a player, to have a lot of the games passing by. He's got to be in the thick of things, and as a number 9, we need him to respond tomorrow. And I feel like if he doesn't, then we really, really need to step in the market and bring in a player with Premiership experience that will bang us the goals. Because 3 games in the league, if he weren't not to get a goal and not have a good performance, I don't know where that leaves him. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. Like, comment and subscribe. And as always, forever always, come on you Spurs. See you for the watch along, guys. Come on, boys.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.